Brent Faiyaz, Strangers, let's talk about it. How y'all doing? Welcome to Let's Talk About It Music Reviews Season 12. How y'all doing? Welcome to the show. Guys, we got a pretty good episode for you today. We're back with our coverage of Brent Faiyaz. You know, we've been doing this little back and forth thing. And now we're talking about one of my favorite songs off this album. This song right here, I added to my personal playlist. You know, I've been listening to this song over and over and over again. You know, when you have, I would say heartbreak R&B tracks that actually, sound really good, actually got a lot to them. You know, it's very rare that I actually find that in today's age of R&B, because in today's age of R&B, you're not getting, shit like this. And then when I hear this song, I'm like, well, damn, this is actually really fucking good. So, we got Brent Faiyaz today, Strangers. Let's just get into it. Let's talk about it. You know, I've had a really good experience, checking out this album. I can't wait to do an album review of it. I'm still thinking when that's going to happen. I'm thinking probably the end of the week. You know, there might be an album review out for this one. I got a few album reviews that I have to do. You know, I got Brent Faiyaz. We still got to finish J. Cole. I still haven't finished this second disc off of J. Cole, which I will get to, as soon as I can. And we also got, Charlie XCX. But anyways, let's get into this shit. Strangers, let's start off talking about the instrumental. I will say this is one of my favorite instrumentals off this album, just because of how, I'd say the vibes are. There's something really great when R&B music can have, the strings, the guitar, the violin. When these elements actually sound like, what they're supposed to sound like, and they're actually, bringing out the beat. And then you have really nice background vocals. You have some really nice drums too that sound really fucking good. Some like windmill like chime effects that are just kind of like placed throughout this whole entire beat. I overall really enjoy what I'm hearing. Sounds really fucking good. Love how, each time the hook comes on, you hear that instrumental rise with the hook. And I think when you have those elements, that's how you make a hook so enjoyable, so addicting to get stuck in your head, because it puts this feeling, in your chest. It puts this feeling in your heart when you're listening to the song when the hook comes on. So I really love how you have that effect that's kind of placed throughout this whole entire hook. And then you also have a build up to the hook. It's not just, a Brent Faiyaz hook, you have some build up in the beginning of it, which is really cool. So I really like that. I like how the instrumental rides with the rest of the song. I hate when instrumentals, have all these like violin, these strings, these guitars, all these different instruments to try to make their song feel grand or sound grand, and then they actually don't follow through with it. Overall, I really enjoy this instrumental. I love the strings, love all the different elements here. I love when the beat actually kicks in too. Overall, really fucking good. Easily got stuck in my head, and like probably easily one of my favorite fucking beats off this whole entire album. There's a couple of songs here where I just love the instrumentals, but this one right here, I love the instrumental that I just kept listening to the song over and over and over again. That's gonna lead up to the beginning verse. The beginning verse is actually really good. Easily gets stuck in your head. You got heartbreaking lyrics. You got some nice-ass vocals. The singing from Brent Faiyaz is so fucking good. One of the best, I'd say in the game right now for R&B, for voices, because not a lot of R&B artists can actually, stack vocals really good. Brent Faiyaz can stack vocals really good, and plus, he can sing really good. Sometimes artists can only stack vocals good, and when you hear, the first voice, when you hear the first layer, when you hear that first initial voice, it doesn't really sound that strong than what I'm hearing from Brent Faiyaz. Brent Faiyaz can actually sing. He can have the vocal runways. He can do the vocal switch-ups. He can even do the flow switch-ups too. So Brent Faiyaz can do all the different elements that are needed. And I'd say this verse is overall really good. I like the vocals, and I like how it leads up to the hook, which we'll get into the hook in just a second. But I will say, I think, for this song having really nice heartbreaking lyrics, having a really nice rising instrumental, I'd say this is a really nice beginning verse and overall really fucking fire to listen to. Now the hook. I love the hook because the hook starts off, building up. You build up from what you've heard from the beginning verse, and now you're building up from that. And I like how there's a slight build up, and as the synths and the violin, the guitar rise, the vocals start to rise, and then you move on to that hook, and that initial hook variation is just so fucking addicting. The way the vocals switch up right there, just beautiful, heavenly, sounds so fucking good. Makes me want to fall back, when you're outside or some shit. When this shit comes on, you're just gonna be wanting to fucking fall back onto the grass because that's how good this fucking hook sounds. How fantastic this hook comes together. I overall really enjoy what I'm hearing, and I'd say, also you have a really nice hook, you have a really nice couple of verses, you have a really nice bridge, you have the heartbreaking lyrics. This song fully comes together. So overall, for Brent Faiyaz, Strangers, this is one of my favorite songs off the album. Each time I've kept listening to it, I just had such a good time with it. So overall, I will easily give this song a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10, guys. What y'all think about it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? I don't know. Let me know. If you're on YouTube, Spotify, Pandora, wherever you get your podcast at, make sure you follow, turn on notifications, guys. We're dropping new content every single day. And thank you so much for listening to this podcast episode, guys. It means the world to me. It's crazy. We've already hit over 11,000 plays on season 12. Just insane to me that y'all are checking out this fucking show. And we got more content on the way. We got more Charlie XCX coverage. We got more Brent Faiyaz coverage coming up. This coverage is, kind of coming to an end. We still got a few more days of this stuff. But, then we're going to be moving on to Baby Keem. Her Baby Keem is dropping a whole ass album on Friday. So we still got a lot of music to cover before that new Music Friday happens. But I will tell her you have a good one. Yeah, guys.